What's up, good people? Welcome to High Ground Podcast. I'm Landon. I'm joined by Zach, and we're going to get right into the episode. Zach, please tell us, what are we talking about?
So today we're talking about the new Lilo and Stitch movie, the live-action remake by Disney. So
Before, because I'll let Zach go first, but before we get into that, I always like to do the little analytics before we get into the episode. So Lilo and Stitch 2025 is the live action reiteration of Lilo and Stitch from the 2002 animated film. Very good film. I recommend it. It has a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 7.0 out of 10 on IMDb, and a 3.3 on Letterboxd. It was directed by Dean Fleischer Smith, and Chris Sanders returned as his role as Stitch.
Which was awesome.
So before we get into our official ratings and reviews, I just want to reiterate to our audience that not every rating and review is going to be based off of the exact same thing. We're not always looking for a cinematic masterpiece because not every movie is trying to be a cinematic masterpiece. I always say a great example for this is Minecraft. Minecraft was made for audiences. It wasn't made for critics. It wasn't built to be a cinematic masterpiece. It was built to have fun. So with this film, we both love the Lilo and Stitch animated film. So we're looking at it through that lens, and that's where we're kind of basing it off of. So without further ado, Zach, the floor is yours.
Okay. So as we said, big fan of the original animated movie, and then I've seen even like the sequels, the spinoffs. There was a TV show at one point. Watched all that growing up, so it's definitely a film that's like near and dear to my heart. That being said, it's hard to be a huge fan of the live action when you're looking at it through that lens because there's a lot that's different. So I'll kind of start off with some of the differences that I've noticed. So first thing is no Gantu or Gantu, however you pronounce that, which is the big kind of like elephant looking dude who's like the main villain in the animated movie. And then they just straight up are like, yeah, we're not doing that. So yeah, that was kind of tough. Another noticeable difference is Jumba is the main villain, and that's tough because like in the original he becomes part of Ohana, part of the family.
They all become like the whole family.
It just felt like they really kind of like separated him from that, and it felt kind of like a miss to me. I feel like his character was just not. It didn't feel like Jumba, and that was like really hard to. Because he was my favorite growing up, other than Stitch, obviously. But like side character wise, he's just hilarious, man, and no accent too. That was the crazy thing too. It's like he just, it's just Zach Galifianakis. So, but yeah, I'll kind of let you bounce on that and share some of your thoughts as well.
Okay, before I do, what was your official rating for the movie?
Oh, so mine was I believe it was a 5.5 out of 10.
All right, that's good. I mean, that's not good, but
there's better, but like I get, but that's with perspective of having been a fan of the original one. So it's like, if I hadn't seen the original movie, then and I had just seen this for the first time, like never saw the original Lilo and Stitch, it would probably be a higher rating.
Yeah. So my rating for this movie is a 5.8 out of 10, but as a movie, it's like a 6.8.
Yeah, it's like, a good movie.
It's a good movie, but I'd knock off a whole point just because they completely changed the movie itself from the animated film in 2002. So I watched the first movie. So I grew up watching it when I was like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
And then I rewatched it right before watching the live action, and rewatching it, I'm like, the first movie's a perfect movie.
It's so good.
The characters are funny. The aliens are cool. Stitch is hilarious. I mean, all the lines are great. The Hawaiian vibes is a good vibe, everyone likes that vibe. So I'm like, I think the first movie was perfect. So I didn't really understand the absolute need for a live action remake, but I think the obvious answer is money.
It's definitely a money. Well, you saw the opening, they had like one of the highest opening Memorial Weekend.
Yes, right now it's at a $361 million.
Yeah, which is way over production.
The worldwide box office so far. And that's not even a weekend. So
it'll perform.
That's a good box office. And, you know, I recommend it to, like, if you have a child and you've never really seen the first Lilo Stitch, like, yeah, go watch it. Go enjoy it with your family. It's a good family film. But, I mean, if you're like us who grew up watching the first movie, you're probably not going to like it as much. Or, I mean, if you're just like a Lilo and Stitch buff, man, you might still like it. But in my opinion, it's just the changes were very drastic. I feel like Bubbles was a
huge
I feel like he was a huge character in the live act or in the animated movie, and he was barely in the movie. Like,
yeah, when he was, it just felt like off. Like, it didn't feel like authentic character.
And they didn't even, like, in my opinion, I thought one of the funny parts of the animated one was the skinny tall alien dude with the one eye.
Oh, Pleakley,
yeah. So, like, he's like, oh, I want to go to Earth because of the mosquitoes, right?
Yeah.
But that was a whole lie. It was like a whole cover up that Bubbles did in the 70s. And the animated
that was like a whole inside joke.
Yeah, but that wasn't even in the live action movie. So I was like, I felt like that was like a major point.
And even to that point, kind of piggybacking off what you said, Pleakley is a whole nother thing, because I think as far as characters go all around, they got him pretty realistically close to the animated, but still things missing. Like, the voice was different too, which is like, it's hard. And I know I'm kind of being a very like critique of it, but it's hard to reproduce like voices like that when there are specific accents and all that. Cause like even the original voice actor for Jumba passed away, sadly, a couple years back. So like, that's really hard to follow up with that. Yeah. But like with Pleakley, I don't know. But voice aside, the character itself, I feel like he got sidelined, kind of like Cobra, Bubbles. It's like he was a huge part of the original movie. I mean, him and Jumba especially had that like just huge dynamic between them. Yeah. And it's like, and part of that is Jumba's the villain, so they just kind of like, Jumba just doesn't have anything to do with him. He's kind of like gets rid of them the second he can. But I don't know. That was something too. That was like
exactly.
Pleakley just didn't feel like Pleakley.
Also, this has nothing to do with my rating, but I thought it was like kind of funny, maybe a little goofy. But when she goes and retrieves a Stitch and she's like, I can't swim up. Let me walk through the whole ocean sand and go up to the beach at the end.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, girl, I couldn't. Like, I'm not saying.
Oh, it was impressive. I'm not going to lie.
That was impressive, but I was like, is that possible? Like,
hey, man.
Listen, I was like, all right.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, though. But it's, I don't know. It's definitely different. And also something, too, to, like, take note is they put in a whole new, like, original character, which was the neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
Which was, like, the older lady. And she did a good job. I mean, that's a case where it's like it works, and it kind of makes sense and helps out more with this is how, Nani and Lilo are actually able to like make it without being totally on their own, as they have a little bit of assistance. But I don't know. It's just, again, I think that's something I even told you when we saw it. Like, just kind of go in with an open mind, because a lot is different.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So even if you are a big Stitch fan and, hearing all this, like, still going with the open mind. It's not a horrible movie, but there's a lot of noticeable differences.
I thought it was cool. Yeah. The aunt, because she's in 50 First Dates. And
okay.
I love that movie. So I was like, it's cool seeing her.
That's actually sick.
In another film that's also based in Hawaii. Yeah, it's just like all around. I mean, yeah, as just a remake, I'm like, I don't know. It's just,
it feels forced. I think because like kind of on that topic, because we've talked about this several times, not on the podcast, but just in general, how the live action remakes by Disney are very hit or miss. Because like you have the Snow White situation, which just flopped horrendously for all those reasons. But then you have like, I don't know, like Cruella, when that came out, that was a huge hit. So like, it's very much like, you know what I mean? It just depends, but also it depends what direction they go with the movie when they make it.
Yeah. And like, like Disney's great at making movies. Like I'm not gonna like dog on them for that because I mean we still watch Star Wars and Marvel and
Yeah, exactly.
they have plenty of. I mean they still come out with the original movies, so I'm not dogging on them too much. But like it's very evident and very everyone sees that these live actions are definitely cash grabs. Like
Oh yeah.
and in my opinion, it's just it's like a soft thing to do. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like we see that you don't have any more ideas or whatever, and I'm like I feel like there's like all these employees that work at Disney, like not one of them has like an original idea. Like that was my like in the first Lilo and Stitch, the animated film in 2002. Like something that was cool was in the credits. It says this is made because someone thought of this. Like his name's in the credit.
Yeah.
I'm like that someone thought of the Lilo and Stitch movie. Y'all made the movie. Like just keep doing
that stuff. Yeah.
Like I mean, y'all have Lilo coming out, and that's an original movie. I mean, it's kind of the flipped version of Lilo and Stitch, but
yeah.
like I'm excited to see another original Pixar movie.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we've had an original Disney movie in a while, actually.
So I mean, in a world of remakes and prequels and live action remakes and sequels, it like we're missing a lot of original stories, which sucks, you know.
Yeah.
Like
well, and I think that's the whole thing too. Because I mean, if we're just talking about Disney itself, I mean, Walt Disney founded the company on the base idea of imagination takes the lead. So it's this whole idea of, I mean, he thought of Disney World, he thought of Mickey Mouse, he thought of all this stuff out of literally nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the longest time, that just kept going on for generations and generations. And it feels like we're hitting that point where it's like, it's almost like they're forgetting that's the root cause is imagination. Like, think of something new, you know? Not that, and again, to preface, like, you know, not that there's anything wrong with sequels or prequels or original or not so original stuff. Cause like even Toy Story had like Toy Story 2 was great. Toy Story 3 was great. Yeah. Incredibles 2 came out several years later and that was cool. But like, then there's, you know, like Ratatouille is one of my favorite Disney movies. And it was just this very original one-off thing, you know?
Exactly. And Pixar is very good at doing original movies. But let me give you some stats about like just their live action adaptations, all right? So every single one of their original animated films that have been adapted, right? So the animated version of those all have an 80% or higher Rotten Tomatoes rating, except for one, which is Peter Pan. Yeah. 53. But that has like a 78. So I mean it's like barely under it. But their live action remakes only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 of them have a 70% or higher rating, like the live action version.
Just in general.
So I see it trying to be a cash grab, but it seems like I don't know. It seems like a cheap cop out for money. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't mind it. Like some live actions, I look forward to. Like, it's an interesting concept to see your favorite animated film into a live action.
Yeah, because like a whole new lens.
Exactly. Like How to Train Your Dragon is coming out, and I'm very excited for that. And that looks like a shot for shot.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's too premature to be like that. That's how you do it. Yeah. Like I'll save my judgment and, you know, my thoughts when we actually see it and it comes out. But as of now, just trailer wise, I'm like this. I feel like I'm just rewatching the movie, but live action, and I think that's how it should be. Exactly. If you're gonna do that, you know.
And I think we're definitely gonna see the I guess a DreamWorks versus Disney battle, which I don't know. I don't think DreamWorks was a part of Disney. No, that's Universal. That's Universal. So yeah, we're gonna see that little battle of should a live action be a shot for shot or should it be just a whole completely different thing? Yeah. And Lilo Stitch coming out
like a month before,
2 weeks before, How to Train Your Dragon. We're gonna see that because right now Lilo Stitch stands at 361 million in the box office worldwide, and How to Train Your Dragon could easily surpass that. I think it's funny because Minecraft is like above like everything.
Minecraft is such a random movie.
I don't want to talk about. Okay, this is completely off topic, but I love how Minecraft is made for audiences and don't even care about critics. I love it. Oh, literally, just a little off topic thing. But something I would like them to do when they do make live action remakes, though, is I would love for them to release the animated film back in theaters.
That would be cool.
Alongside with it, because it won't cost a dime, and it'll give you another easy $50 million.
There's still because in the amount of Lilo and Stitch fans are, if they release the original animated movie again in theaters, easily like gonna surpass re-release as far as like I'm concerned. Because like I mean, right now, Revenge of the Sith I think is the highest re-release opening.
Yeah, it has 55 million in box office with its re-release, which is a lot for a re-release. Let me tell you that. It's
a lot, and it only was back for like a week, I think. So
yes.
But yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, and the only other big thing I wanted to point out, because I've been seeing this like all over TikTok and social media from like the hardcore Lilo and Stitch fans, like on my For You page, and it is the ugly duckling scene. So in the very animated movie, like the first one, there's a scene where Stitch is like going on his own and he has this book and it's the ugly duckling.
Oh yeah.
And that is such a pivotal like plot point because it represents Stitch. He thinks he's this unredeemable monster, this ugly duckling that no one loves because he doesn't have a family. Which then, you know, fast forward to the ending, he finds that and he finds out, oh, I am, you know, loved and I have an Ohana. Which speaking of,
that's crazy. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to bring it up because we're talking about it. This is my last this is the last little hate that's going to get on this movie. Again, I don't hate the movie. Come at me if you want. I like the movie. Okay. It was a good movie. However, why does Ohana not mean family?
Yeah. Like Ohana means family. Family
means no one gets left behind.
Means no one gets left behind. So why does she go to college?
And I want to point this out. That's a cool, like, it is important because it is like, I do see the direction they were trying to go. They're trying to give Nani more fleshed out character instead of just like the adoptive mom sister trope.
Yeah.
So it's like they were trying to give her more of a story. And I applaud that. But the whole point of that movie is in the end, Nani's able to keep Lilo and Stitch, and they build their own Ohana now with Jumba and Pleakley moving in, and it's this whole thing. And then in this one, it's like Ohana means send your sister to foster care and go across the country to San Diego to be a marine biologist. And I keep seeing those memes, but yeah, it just and people are going to point out, oh, but in the end credit scene, she visits and stuff, and yeah, she does visit. You know, she's still part of her life, and especially nowadays I think they did that because like we have FaceTime, we're able to like keep in touch across distance now, but it still feels like a cheap like jab at that meaning. It's like this isn't what they meant originally.
I agree with that completely. I thought, you know, something that was actually funny about the remake was the whole ongoing joke of have fun in the Marines. It's just I love that. That's not what I'm rolling, but I'm like, all right.
And that's something too that there was. And that's what I want to, because like we talked about a lot that we didn't like. I want to talk about what I did like and what you did like. One thing I really loved was the comedy still stood true. Even though it was like different jokes, different kind of avenue of comedy, it was still a funny, cute family movie. So it's like, it's still one that I think down the line will still be a success. It'll still be beloved by a lot of people, especially this like new younger generation. So like, you know, like the little kids going to see it now are probably, that's going to be their Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a cool thing. Yeah. And just Stitch still being Stitch, I'm glad about. Like, if nothing else, we still have got Stitch.
Exactly. I look at it in the perspective of, so I really love Alvin and the Chipmunks. And those are live action iterations of the cartoons that came out in the 80s and 90s and the comics and all that. So I would imagine that those hardcore fans probably didn't like the live action movies with Dave and with
Hub and Simon Theodore.
Well, yeah, I know their names, but I'm talking about
the human people.
No, Dave and who and Toby. Shazam. Shazam played Toby. Anyways, yes, but yeah, Alvin, Simon, Theodore, and Jeanette, and all like the live action iteration of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I see it in that perspective where like I grew up with those movies, so I love those movies.
Same.
But I imagine those who grew up with the cartoons love those like 10 times more than like the live action movies. And that's the way I look at it, is like we love the animated 2002 film of Lilo and Stitch, but this next generation, they're going to look at this live action movie and they're going to love this live action movie. And that's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. And that's, I just want to make that quick because like, again, at the end of the day, it's still a good movie. Will I watch it again? Yeah. Like, am I going to, you probably won't.
No.
But I'm just, well, I mean, like when it comes out on like Disney Plus.
Yeah, I mean, I probably still won't. Like, listen. If I ever have kids, like I'm 100% showing them the animated version of every movie ever, because I think 2D animation is a lost art, and I miss it 100%. Like 3D animation is cool, live action is cool, but I miss the 2D animation films. You know, like that was just like that was a thing. You know.
No, for sure.
It's a nostalgic feel.
Well, especially just for Disney, because you have like Treasure Planet, Bambi, you have like these classic Tarzan. I mean, yeah, I'm hoping this is like Disney learning their lesson to like the whole Snow White situation, because like we were gonna get like live action Tangled, and they were like, nope.
Well, see, that's my thing with this movie. So like, I don't think they're gonna stop just because Snow White didn't do the best in the box office, but Lilo and Stitch is the 4th highest grossing movie this year.
Yeah.
So they're gonna be like, all right, let's keep doing it.
Free money, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like Sony. I mean, look at them.
Yeah, like
all their failed attempts with like Madam Web and that stuff. Like they still made money.
Well, so. I just don't know why studios don't just re-release movies. Like people would go watch them, especially like a big movie. You know?
Oh yeah. Well, even because remember Spider-Man, they did that. They released every
Spider-Man.
week was a new like the old Spider-Man movies. And I was like, that was the coolest thing ever.
Exactly. And that was like an easy revenue, and they didn't spend a dime. They just re-released movies.
Oh, all you have to do is just send the film, be like, all right, release it this date.
Exactly.
Like, and no theaters can be like, absolutely not. I mean, because Interstellar, the first time I saw Interstellar was in theaters because we went together, and that was like the coolest thing ever. It's like there's so many examples of that, but like if it hadn't re-released, I don't know if I ever would have gotten around to watching it.
Exactly.
So re-releases are definitely a good thing, but live action cop-outs are not. So
yeah, unless it's shot for shot, I'm not looking forward to any live action remakes or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still recommend the movie if you have like a child or if you just really love Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, go watch it. I like the original better, but that's just my opinion. That's just our opinion.
I'll definitely agree with that. The original is the best.
Our rating is definitely based on nostalgia, and I'm fine with that.
So
definitely based on nostalgia.
Yeah, each their own. You know, like if you disagree, that's cool. You agree, whatever. That's just us putting out our opinions.
But
I agree.
Cool. You good?
Yeah.
Cool. So we're gonna wrap up the episode right there. But at the end of each episode, we believe that we believe in the Word. We believe in Jesus, in the death and resurrection. So we believe in sharing we're sharing a little bit of the Word at the end of each episode. So Zach's gonna go ahead and share the Word.
Awesome. So today I'm actually gonna read one of my favorite verses of all time. I'm actually gonna read from Psalms. So Psalms 23 as a whole real quickly. But 23:4 is definitely my favorite part. But it goes, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." I love that verse because just the whole emphasis of you're never alone. God is with you. You have a purpose in your life. And God's love will always be overflowing and will always follow you, and he will never abandon you. So please take that to heart, and I hope that encourages you today.